Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Touma Podcast. We're back. It's good to be here. It's good to have you. Thank you guys for the support. I've been getting a bunch of good messages. You guys are happy the podcast is back. And the people that are new to being fans of me are happy that the podcast exists in the first place, and they're just finding out about it. Thank you guys. If you're new to the podcast or you're old to the podcast and you haven't already, if you listen on Apple Podcasts, could you just give us a 5-star review, a rating? Takes literally 2 seconds to click the 5-star button for the rating. It helps. It's huge. And if you could leave a little review, just write something nice. Takes 2 seconds. And you guys been writing nice shit. I appreciate that. Some guy, AGAHSG. These are always really the names, right? It said, hilarious, big fan. Hopefully one day I can come to one of your shows and get roasted. Well, that's a hilarious thing to want, a hilarious experience to want with me. But, dude, come to whenever I come through, whatever your city is, come there and sit in the front row, and I'll make sure to roast the shit out of you, okay, dude? And then Agahash, that's your name that you put on iTunes. I appreciate the good review, man. So thank you for that. And then SickBoy909 said, must listen to podcasts. Dope podcast, dude. 5 stars, most definitely. Thank you, SickBoy. If you come to a show, you'll definitely get roasted for that name. So, guys, if you could leave a review, it just helps me. Thank you. Subscribe on Apple or Spotify or YouTube or wherever you guys listen to your podcasts. And, that's great. And if you're listening right now and your Instagram app's open, you can screenshot the podcast, throw it on, on your Instagram story, tag me, I'll repost it. Because I appreciate you guys doing the free promo for me, because it's not easy to promote yourself. So when you guys do it for me, I really appreciate it, because it makes my job a lot easier and I can be lazy.
That's true.
And as always, I am here with Chase Azarian.
Once again,
Chase Azarian, chilling with Chase. We just got back. We just got back from Miami, which was wild.
It was.
We shot an episode of the show there, and man, it was just, I couldn't believe, we talked about it last week on the podcast, the Miami spring break madness, and we went there and we went to shoot an episode of Excuse Me What, and I was a little worried that it wasn't going to be quite as crazy because they implemented an 8 p.m. curfew, and really what happened was everybody just got drunk by 1 p.m. because you can't stop the Miami people, you know what I mean? It really is. It's so funny, like, the difference between Miami, because I was thinking about, like, we've talked on the episode before. We shot an episod of Florida State University. We hated it.
The worst.
The worst. Always the worst. If you go to Florida State, fuck you. And we shot that, and it was the worst, and the people were not our type of people that we like to be around, or that I would assume most people like to be around. But then we shoot an episode of Miami, and it's still everybody drunk and partying, but they were wasted, and they were loud, but they weren't hateable. And I've realized the difference is because they were mostly just like funny hood black people in Miami, whereas in Florida State, they were white 20-year-old frat bros. And the first demographic is much more likable than the second demographic. There's really nothing likable about like a college-age frat guy. And the other thing is, for our show, we want to find really unique, interesting personalities and have our fans be able to just enjoy them as people. And every 20-year-old frat guy is the same human being.
It's copy and paste.
Right? It really is, dude. It is just they're plagiarizing each other's personalities. It's just like, literally, you talk to the first guy, he's like, I fucking love beer pong and flip cup. And the second guy's like, dude, nothing more to say. I fucking love beer pong and flip cup, dude. And you're just like, does any of you have opinions about anything? And their opinions just like, nobody fucking parties as hard as us. And the next guy's like, yeah, everybody else is fucking pussies, bro. And you're just like, okay, well, this is just the same guy cloned 40 times, and they're all strung out on fucking Xanax and Four Locos. And it's really just a nightmare to be around. But the people in Miami are actually wonderful to be around. They were hilarious, and they were unique, and they were drunk and partying, but they were like only obnoxious in a good way.
Yeah, they were just individual people.
Yeah, that's they were just human beings with personalities. That's it. And that's more than I can say for the folks on any college campus in America. I'm sorry if you're in college, but you don't know yourself yet. You don't have your personality is a can of Michelob Ultra. That is what your personality is. Your personality is a bottle of Smirnoff Ice. You know, it really is just, you are just a walking bottle of fucking Sky vodka at this point until you turn 23. That's when you start. I've been a person for 3 years. Until you're like 20, maybe 4. Until you're like 22. Like your senior year of college is when you start to be like, yeah, I should be a human. I should be some sort of a person that has my own individual thoughts and desires from life. And I hope that people can identify me by my personality trait. That's the first time you start thinking that. When you're in high school, you're just horny and kind of, you know, fat or whatever. Maybe I'm just talking about myself. But and then when you're in college, you're like, fucking party all fucking day and night, dude. Like, that's your personality. It's just like, I'll fucking do a keg stand at 8 in the morning. I don't give a fuck. And it's just like, that's not a human. That's just you're just a little mini alcoholic monster, and so is everybody around you, you know? You're right. They were just people with
and they were just like accepting of who they were, you know, like they didn't give a fuck that they were being interviewed for like whatever we were doing, you know. And they were very open with like, yeah, let's just talk, and they were naturally funny. And
they were all just being themselves, like whatever their quirky, wild, weird, funny, insane personality was, they were just letting that happen. They were letting themselves be themselves. They're just like, oh, I'm wild, I'm drunk, but I'm just gonna be myself and say wild, funny shit on camera. Like, whereas like the kids at like a college campus, when you put a camera in front of them, they just feel the need to like pour a beer on their head and be like, like that's just like their natural inclination. There's no like, I should be myself here, because myself is nothing. They're you know what I mean? They're just,
it's an illusion.
Yeah, they're beer funnels of human beings. You know what I mean? That's what they are as people. But yeah, it was great being in Miami, man. I mean, it's just, Miami's a wild ass place, dude.
It is. Yeah, it grows on me a little bit more each time.
I have that too, man. I used to hate Miami. I went there with 2 separate ex-girlfriends and got in weekend-long fights with both of them. And it was really, I had a nightmarish relationship with the city. But now my relationship with the city is just fucking hanging out with a bunch of black people, and they're awesome.
Yeah.
They're funny as hell, dued.
South Beach was the easiest we've ever had it in terms of shooting. At least since I've been with you.
Shooting the show. Oh my God, dude. Like, we had like 12 hilarious interviews that were all so different from each other within like an hour and 40 minutes.
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
Really crazy in terms of like shooting the show. Like when I told you that we only got like 20 gigs of footage, like you were like, what?
Yeah, exactly.
Because it felt like, because that's like an hour of footage. It felt like 10 hours of footage.
Yeah.
But it's not. It's fucking...
Everyone talked for 2 minutes, and those 2 minutes were all gold. So,
right?
Yeah, I can't wait to see what it's like when it's finished, for
Absolutely. The big thing in the news that I keep seeing is the Lil Nas X video. Have you seen people talking about this?
The preacher?
What? No.
I saw there was a video of a preacher calling him like the devil. Or
whatever,
really? And he said he was going to sample it for his
Dude, that's
song.
so funny. I didn't see that.
Okay, so what are you talking about then?
Well, the same thing. It's just the blowback from the Lil Nas X video. Basically, Lil Nas X made this video for his new song Montero, and in the video, it's basically him doing a lot of like openly gay, openly sexual things.
Gotcha.
It's a very like kind of, I don't even like fantasy type video. Like he's like it's all like Lord of the Rings style. I don't even know what to call it. Like
medieval,
almost like kind of like Egyptian, ancient Egypt, but also kind of like the movie Avatar.
Okay,
it's very like fantasy based. It's
insane.
It looks like it's crazy. It's like a live action anime or something.
Yeah.
It's nuts. But there's a huge blowback from the video because like Joyner Lucas, he's a rapper, and he's like, our kids got into you because of Old Town Road, and they subscribed to your YouTube channel, and now our kids got to watch this. And then Lil Nas X was like, I was talking about drinking lean and shooting people in Old Town Road. Like, what are you talking about? And like, I'm sorry if you should have kept your kids away from that. And all these parents are like, this Lil Nas X video, it is just disgusting. It is just... Well, I would just, it is just the fact that the kids are going to see this. It's the same thing they did with the Meg Thee Stallion and Cardi B dance. I mean, you're putting this on television. The fact that our kids are going to see this. I mean, you don't care about scarring the youth, and this is the example you want to set for the young people here in America. I got to be honest with you. American parents around the world, if you're listening, your 11 and 12-year-old kids are well-versed on hardcore pornography. It is 2021. I am sorry to tell you. But if your kid is 12 years old right now, your kid was born in 2009. They've been looking at porn since they were 6 months old. They've been looking at porn since they were in the cradle, dude. Are you kidding me? You're worried about a fully clothed Lil Nas X video or a Cardi B video where she's twerking on Meg Thee Stallion? Your 11-year-olds watched Mia Khalifa get gangbanged, dude. Are you kidding? Your kid has sick thoughts in his head, whether you want to believe it or not. All of our children are ruined because of the internet. You can't fuck parental guidance. Let them watch whatever's on the TV because that's going to look like a church sermon next to what they're watching on the internet while you're at work. Their heads are filled with graphic imagery. Mm-hmm. The Lil Nas X video, I mean, that's like them watching Blue's Clues at this point. Are you kidding me? Cardi B twerking, it's like them watching an episode of The Wiggles. Compared to the shit that your sons are watching, your 13-year-old sons. I was watching porn on my family's desktop PC computer when I was 10. Yeah, Windows fucking, 98, some awful shit when I was like 13 and 14. These kids have fucking high-speed internet on their cell phones. Do you know what they're fucking watching?
I don't even want to know.
You don't want to know. Your kids are addicted to pornography. They're in 4th grade. They're in 4th grade and they should be like picking out their favorite basketball player, but instead they're deciding their favorite porn star. Your kids are taking their allowances and they're using it on OnlyFans accounts. Okay? I'm letting you know that right now. So you don't have to worry about Lil Nas X. He's not the problem, right? I mean, come on. How in the dark are the parents that they're like, this is a terrible example for... I also love imagining like suburban like white parents in like, Ohio and Nebraska being like, this Lil Nas X... The example that Lil Nas X is sending for our kids. We used to sit around the fire in the living room and we'd cozy up with a cup of hot cocoa and we'd watch the Old Town Road video. But now our idols have been diminished. Our idols have failed us. Lil Nas X, I was raising my kids based off of what you would do in your music videos, and I, for one, am disgusted. It's like, dude, what are you talking? Like, this kid... All of your kids' role models are like porn star adjacent. That's the other thing is like everything is kind of porny now,
Oh yeah,
like
for sure.
Cardi B and Meg Thee Stallion. It's all like the age. I feel bad, dude. If you were like a fundamentalist Christian parent, can you imagine?
This is the worst time.
You're probably furious at what's going on in society. Are you to try to keep your kid away from like sexually explicit content? Mm-hmm. I mean, dude, you're going to have to chain them up in the basement.
Yeah, it's borderline impossible.
Right? And if you chain them up in the basement, they're going to be closer to the wireless router, and they're going to get even better high-speed internet access for their porn videos. Okay? It's impossible. I would hate, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I'm going to be giving my kids condoms at like 7 years old.
That's what it's going to be.
Right? You're going to have to prime your kids so early for like safe sex and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Dude, it's just, I mean, your kids' heads are just filled with hardcore porn and world star fights. Like that's all we see. Like, dude, these 12-year-old kids on TikTok will have like the OK Boomer thing. Mm-hmm. Remember OK Boomer, like that shit? Like, yeah. Dude, it was an inside joke that like 12-year-olds had with each other on TikTok that like was like a funny, nuanced, like full-fleshed out ongoing joke that they were like all playing on their parents. Mm-hmm. It's like, dude, these kids are smart. They know their way around the internet. They know how to get exactly what they want out of the internet. They know how to start internet trends, let alone, go on Pornhub. Like the last thing you have to worry about is a Lil Nas X video. I'm telling you that right now. It's just, probably. It must suck to have a kid right now.
Yeah, I'll wait.
Right? I mean, are you gonna let your kid, like, if you have a kid, are you gonna let your kid do beyond social media and use like
I don't know. I never really think about that, honestly. I think I would like limit it. I think it's never a good idea to completely forbid it because then they go fucking crazy for it.
Right? Mm-hmm. I mean, dude, it's hard because the other thing is like my parents limited me using video games, and I used to be so happy about that. I was like, oh, I got to be like my own person, and I was active, and I got all these friends, and yada yada, and I'm just like happy that I didn't waste away the years of my childhood being like a gamer or whatever, And then I look online and see what these Twitch streamers make, and I'm like, my parents fucking failed me. My parents sent me to college where I got thousands of dollars into debt. They could have sent me they could have said, hey, sit in your room, Luke, and play Xbox. I'd be a multi-fucking millionaire by now. I'd be a multi-millionaire if I learned how to play Minecraft. But instead, I went to college for no fucking reason.
You just drank.
That's what I did.
No personality.
I had no personality. I spent 2 years. I didn't even graduate, so I spent 2 years, not fucking, I'm not going to say 4 years.
That's good. You got out.
I got out, But I could have spent my whole child, because I drank in high school too, so I could have spent those years getting good at video games. And now I could be a fucking Fortnite streamer and live in a mansion in Calabasas. But instead, I live in a one-bedroom apartment because I spent those years going, fucking, yeah, dude, fucking keg stands, My parents were like, get out there, make friends, talk to people, socialize. Terrible fucking advice. My kid is going to sit in front of the screen, whether he likes it or not, and learn how to be a multimillionaire Twitch streamer. I'm encouraging my kid to stay inside, have no real friends, and play Fortnite. Because I want my kid to give me a good life,
I think it's a good plan.
Right? I want to continue. I want my kid to because you want your kids to do better than you. And if my kid's going to do better than me,
he's going to be better at you in Fortnite.
He's going to be a lot better at Halo. I'll tell you that.
Do you think those people are happy, though? I feel like that's got to be so boring. Streaming for 10 hours a day. Everything you do is being, like, talking to live people. I feel like it's got to be exhausting.
I don't know, man. Yeah, I think so. And I think that there's a lack of like, if we're being honest, like, there's got to be a lack of humanity within you. I think it's got to be hard for you as, like, a streamer, video gamer to, like, you got to feel kind of numb a little bit.
For sure.
Because, you're having little face-to-face interactions. You're spending so much time looking at screens. Like, I already spend way too much time looking at screens. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I can't imagine if it was my job to, like... Because streaming is different than what we do. Yeah. We shoot, and then I edit, and that takes a certain amount of time, but it feels like work. And then when I go live my life... I mean, yesterday I was on my phone all day, and I was, like, annoyed. So then when my girlfriend and I left the house in the afternoon, I just left the phone at home. We went to a brewery. We went to a restaurant. We had some margaritas. Like, we had fun. And like, sat on the lake in Baldwin Lake here in Orlando. Just had a nice time. No phone. Like, if you're a streamer and that's your job, like, you have to be sitting in front of a screen for, like, extended periods of time.
It's a full day.
Full day's work is you just sitting. And I guess that's the same thing that, like people that work office jobs do. But on one hand, I think a lot of them feel stripped of their humanity while they're at work.
I was going to say, yeah.
And on the other hand, I think that, like, once they're out of work, that's not their world anymore.
Yeah.
The screen.
Mm-hmm.
That's when you're a streamer, like, that's because those guys edit videos too.
Yeah, they do everything.
And I guess crazy. Like, if you love video games, it's your favorite thing to do. So you like that you get to do your favorite thing for a living.
Yeah,
I'm sure
if you're making millions doing it and you're having a good time.
Man, there's this kid that I kind of keep up with, and he's a streamer, and, like, we have mutual friends. He's, like, super famous.
Okay.
And it's interesting, man, because, like, I keep up with some of the stuff he does, and I saw that he, like, came out as, like, asexual, and then I watched the video. He's like, I think I'm, like, as close to, he's, like, on stream with his friends. He's like, I feel like I'm, like, as close to asexual as you can be. He's like, I don't know. I just don't really care about that type of stuff at all. And he's, like, 22. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, I think this kid just spends so much time in front of screens that he, like, his sexuality has just left him. like his desire to fuck anyone is just, like, what is that even? He's like, he just said, I don't really give a fuck about that type of stuff.
Yeah.
He's talking about, like, sex, like, our method of procreation as Homo sapiens. And he's just like, nah, not really. Wild. Wild.
That's what Fortnite does to you, man.
Dude, Fortnite makes your dick soft. I'll tell you that right now. Oh, my God. Dude, Fortnite is the anti-Viagra. It really does, dude. These kids, that's the other thing, man. I got a buddy who's gay, and he was telling me that, like, more, like, younger, like, early 20s guys have, like, dick problems.
Interesting.
I feel like it's just, like, first of all, everybody's meted up. Like, people are on so many fucking pills now.
Oh, yeah.
Adderall, Xanax, whatever the fuck they're on. They're like, the doctor's giving them. The doctor's like, oh, you have trouble paying attention. Like, he doesn't give them any exercise. He's just like, just take this pill. It'll fucking get you zonked. Just take this pill and your personality will dissipate, but you'll be able to focus on things because...
That 10-page paper will be done in 10 minutes.
Yeah, right, that 10-page paper, you're going to bang that shit out, but your friends aren't going to be able to relate to you anymore. That's what an Adderall prescription is. They're like, dude, you want to get your work done in 3 hours? Well, you could do that, and then you're going to have to sit alone in a room after that because nobody's going to want to talk to you. Because you just become a psychotic, productive robot who's stripped of your humanity. The fact that they're giving kids Adderall and like Xanax and shit, like I'm all for therapy. I'm not for the meds. Like in some cases, people need them. I get that. I've needed medication before. I understand. But I think if your 10-year-old is a little kooky on the playground, you shouldn't fucking shoot him up with pills, dude. How is that the solution? Little Timmy's a little rambunctious. You know what we should do? Numb his brain with medication. What lazy parenting is that? What lazy parenting is that? Johnny's getting a little rambunctious. He's waking us up in the middle of the night. You know what we should do? We should fucking shoot him up with meds so he shuts the fuck up. Is that the way to solve your kid's outgoing personality?
Apparently.
Give
him half a bar. He's good to go.
Dude, give him half a fucking Xanny bar and he's gonna shut the fuck up. And then we can continue watching Wheel of Fortune. You know? God damn it, dude. Right? We're trying to watch The Big Bang Theory. This kid won't shut the fuck up. Someone stuff a pill down his throat. That's the new style of parenting, dude. There's no way. So many of my friends are like, yeah, I was on Adderall when I was 9 years old, and I don't think I should have done that. Like, I was on, like, a high dosage of Vyvanse or, you know, some, like, antidepressant.
Yeah, most of those people are just not okay anymore.
No, right?
Yeah, it's definitely not good.
You shouldn't be given drugs at that young of an age. It's like the kids the other thing is, like, the kids that lost their virginity young. You know the kids that, when did you lose your virginity?
Depends if we're going like half or like.
What do you mean? Wait.
Like, are we going like full? Like,
what do you mean half?
What
do you mean half?
I don't know. Like, there's sometimes where you like start and you're like, I don't really want to fucking do this, and then like you tell the girl, I'm not good, and then she's like, oh, okay, and she leaves.
But did you make penetration
for like probably 3 minutes, and then I was like, I don't know.
You were inside a vagina.
Yes.
Oh, dude, that counts.
All right, fine. Then.
What are you like?
But that's like,
dude, you're so humble, dude. My first time having sex was like 10 seconds max.
Well, that's the thing. Well, that's the thing. I didn't finish, so I was like, I don't know if I feel like doing this, so I just like, I guess don't count it,
bro.
But does it count?
Yes.
All right, fine.
How humble are you?
All right, it counts.
I thought you were gonna try to count like a hand job as you losing
your
virginity.
No.
Dude, how humble are you? Dude, mine was 8 seconds, and I'm counting that. Are you kidding me? I didn't have fucking sex for 10 minutes until a year ago. Dude. What do you mean? 3 minutes as a fucking youngster. That's more than enough time.
That was like 16, 17?
Yeah, dude. You're too fake humble, bro.
I guess so.
You are, man. I was 18. I think that the kids, I don't know if you had this same thing like where you grew up in Jersey, but with us, the kids who lost their virginities at like 14, 15, they kind of ended up fucked up. Like the kids who fucked at 14, they're all like borderline criminals. A couple of them got off scot-free from life. But not a good thing. Right?
No.
They're fucked up, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like...
I have like 3 kids I'm picturing in my head right now.
Yeah, I'm picturing
None of them
like...
are doing well right now.
Yeah. I'm picturing like CJ Raybon. He's not going to listen to this. He's fucking dead in a ditch somewhere. But rest in peace, CJ. He's probably still alive. But it's not a good thing to fuck when, you know, you just got pubic hair.
Yeah.
You know, why are you fucking using that? You should be learning how to jerk off. You should be learning how to, you know, fuck with... You know, do you think those kids, that's probably why women like bad boys, because bad boys have an extra 4 years of sex training compared to everybody else their age, you know? Like bad boys, like he's a fucking criminal, you know, ooh, he's hot. Well, yeah, it's like, yeah, ooh, he's going to fuck the shit out of me. It's like, yeah, because he's been fucking since he was 11. The rest of us started at a reasonable age. I'm sorry you got a 6-year head start because he's got shitty parents.
Dude, it is like that. It's like the 17 to like 22 is like the one ballpark, and then it's everything before that.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, it's like 2 different leagues of people.
It really is. It really is. You know what's interesting is I explained this to you when we were driving to Miami, that Chase, that we were talking about comedians, and I was like, oh, this comedian's kind of mad at me, or this comedian's whatever, and like we were talking about stand-up comedians in like the stand-up comedy scene, and you were like, my girlfriend does the same thing. She's like, oh, they're like mad at you they're like mad at some guy about a joke, right? Let's say. And then some guy made a joke that was inappropriate, and then these comedians get mad about it. And you and my girlfriend were both like, they're comedians, though. Why? They're kind of like, it's weird that they care. Yeah. And I was like describing it to you. I'm like, they're like anime kids. And you look on your face, it's like utter confusion. You're like, they're anime kids. What are you talking about?
Yeah, you think of a very specific type of kid when you say like anime kid. You know what I mean?
Like, but that's these kids. There's a lot of people in stand-up comedy are like anime kids.
Which is so bizarre.
The public doesn't know that because none of them are successful. A couple, I think, are probably successful. There's a couple like nerds. Like Kumail Nanjiani's a fucking anime kid. Now he's just hot and jacked because he's in Hollywood. But he's a fucking anime kid. He's a nerd.
Okay.
Thomas Middleditch.
Yeah.
You know Thomas Middleditch?
Yeah.
Thomas Middleditch is like a fucking anime kid.
Yeah.
He's a little... he got fucking popped for sexual assault, by the way.
Did he?
Dude, he was at some weird like underground like rich and famous people LA like sex nightclub, and he like grabbed someone's titties while he was wearing a mask.
Oh,
dude,
God.
LA's a fucking freak show, dude. I was reading it. They're like, it's an underground goth sex nightclub where you go to have sex parties, dress. It's like some Eyes Wide Shut shit.
Yeah.
I was like, I've never even heard about anybody mentioning a place like this. And this is a place this guy was frequenting. And then he crossed the line there. What is the line that's even to be crossed in a place like that? LA's a fucking freak show, dude. Mm-hmm. It's a freak show. And those, like, it's like some weird Bilderberg meeting shit, you know, where he got popped. But he's like an anime kid, to wrap it back. He's like one of the, you know, there are a couple famous like nerdy comics, but there's a lot of people in comedy who are like these like anime style kids, but they're more just, they're like, they don't really succeed because they just start doing open mics, and they just kind of got into comedy because they needed like a group of friends more so than anything.
It sounds like the kid that like sells a t-shirt and then puts entrepreneur in his bio.
Yes, yes, it is exactly that.
Okay.
There are so many people that have done 4 comedy open mics and they're like, yeah, I'm a comedian.
Yeah.
You know? It's crazy, man. It's interesting. Like I have like a lot more work to do, but just seeing, like, even as far as I've gotten, and then comparing it to like my peers, and then like how few of them have gotten anywhere.
Yeah.
You know, how few people have gotten to this point, and I'm still looking at like the people that are like way ahead of me and being like, how do I get to where Andrew Santino and Chris DiStefano are? You know, or Tim Dillon or Andrew Schultz. Like what are the next 5 years going to be if I want to be them? Yeah. You know? But then I look at like where I am and I'm like, man, I started comedy with like 2,000 people and about 2 of them are even here.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
That's like everything, man. That's like the film people I went to film school with. Like, I'm the only one doing anything.
Yeah, they're probably working just like office jobs, right?
Well, with COVID, no one's even like really working at all, I don't think.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Which is nuts.
Yeah, man. I mean, I don't think people understand that if you're going to pursue a job that's not like a conventional old school style job, doctor, lawyer, you know, healthcare worker, fucking insurance salesman, just a regular job. Like those jobs have a clear cut path. And I think if you do have to work hard, but I think like once you're out of college, you just, there's steps laid out for you.
Yeah. It's like train tracks. It's like going to school, you know, you go first grade, second grade.
Yeah. Dude, if you're doing what I'm trying to do, what you're trying to do, if you're a fucking musician and you're not only working your ass, first of all, you better be insanely talented, number one. And if you're not, you got to be a genius, or your dad better work at a record label or a TV network, or you better have a work ethic that nobody's ever even seen before. Yeah. If you're not one of those, if you don't have one of those things, you got to be very talented, number one. And then after you have talent, you have to not only work your ass off, but you also have to like constantly plot on the clever next few moves that you're gonna like. If you're not coming at your career that methodically, you're never gonna make it. Yeah. Why the fuck should anybody be paying you to fucking film them with your camera, which you love, stand on their stage and fucking tell jokes, sing them a fucking song? You want the world to pay you to do your favorite thing. Like, do you know how fucking hard and smart you need to work to get to the point where the universe goes, sure, you can get paid to fucking
even just a little bit
sing a show tune? You know what I mean? Like, the fact that people are just like kind of like, dude, I know so many comedians that are just like, yeah, you know, and I guess I used to be like this at some point where they're like, fucking industry's fucking bullshit, dude. Like, fucking, they won't give me an opportunity, man. I've been writing jokes since who knows when, man. I write fucking, this is the thing they'll do. They go, I write fucking 2 hours a day. And I'm like, well, number one, you suck on stage. You're not funny. You suck. Like, no, you're not likable. You're not funny. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. Maybe you should not write 2 hours a day. Maybe you should buy a camera and learn how to film and edit yourself so that you can put out other types of content. Maybe you should do a podcast. Maybe you should do an interview show. Maybe you should make TikToks. Like, writing your 2 hours of fucking jokes a day isn't helping. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's like people are like, I've been playing guitar since I was fucking 2 years old. And I'm like, well, you're not very good. It's
not showing.
Yeah, you're not. Well, I don't know what you've been doing that whole time. You know? That's that argument about talent versus hard work.
For sure. I think you need both, for sure. But I don't think you could necessarily do just one without the other.
I agree.
In certain parts. Some people are exceptions.
I sort of think talent is underrated.
I think a lot of people overrate talent, for sure. Like the Gary V's will be like, oh, it's like 3% talent and 97% hard work. Like, no.
Bro, that's what I'm saying. They'll overrate hard work.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, that's it. I was thinking about Gary V. Okay. Yeah, I'm thinking, because you're like,
the same thing.
Dude, because that's the problem. The thing is, if you're Gary V, or you're Kevin Hart, I love Kevin Hart, or you're whoever, Jay Shetty, one of these guys who like makes a living off of motivation.
Right.
You need to tell the public talent doesn't fucking matter. All that matters is hard work. Because most people are not talented.
Yeah.
So if you want 10 million people listening to your advice, if you tell them the most important thing is natural talent, and you have to find whatever you're naturally talented at and do that. And if you want to do something and you don't have natural talent for it, you should quit. You're not going to get the same amount of views.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? That's not a hallmark advice. Yeah. You know, that's not a nice. That's not packageable. It's hard to put a bow on that. It's hard to put a thumbnail on top of it. It's hard to go, if you're not talented, be a cashier. You know what I mean? Like, that's not as relatable of advice. If you're Kevin Hart or Gary Vee, you need to be like, hard work all day. You just got to grind. You got to wake up at 2:30 in the fucking morning and start doing push-ups and write a screenplay. If you're not doing that, you're a lazy fuck. I'm not talented. I'm a piece of shit. I've never been good at anything. I just outwork the competition. It's like, you're lying, dude. Yeah. You're lying. Mm-hmm. I saw a video of Kevin Hart doing stand-up at 19. He's fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
He's like the funniest 19-year-old stand-up I think I've ever seen. It's like, you're really going to tell these people that this was all hard work? Mm-hmm. You're lying to them. You know you're more talented than them.
Right.
But you need, if you want to get 100 million Instagram followers, you can't get it by going, I'm more talented than you, and to be honest, most of you should work at Walgreens. You know what I mean? That's just not as good of advice.
Yeah.
It just doesn't. It's not as sexy, and it's not as like, it doesn't stoke the dreams as much.
That's true.
Like, I do feel like if you find your thing that you're good at, if you work your ass off, you can really achieve the goals you set out in your head. But, dude, no matter how hard I work at soccer, I'm not going to be a good soccer player. I'm sorry. I'm uncoordinated, and I'm not athletic.
Yeah.
That's the honest truth of it.
And you're already like 25, 26.
That's the
you
other
can't make
thing,
the league
dude.
Yet, you know?
My girlfriend gets upset with me at that. So do some of my friends, because they say I'm real judgy about older people, which, to be fair, I am. I'm a bit of a cunt. Okay. But not like, I'm not ageist or whatever. Fucking whoever woke is listening here. I'm not ageist. But I am like, I do think it's insane when people are like trying a new thing at 30 and they're like, yeah, I'm on my way. Like, I'm going to make it happen. It's like, I mean, you can. It's possible. People have done it. But, like,
you're not making the NBA at 32, though. You're not getting drafted.
There's a lot of things you're not doing if you're starting at 30.
Yeah, exactly.
If you're starting comedy and you're late, you're mid 30s, you know, I mean, maybe.
If you're funny, if you're talented.
You know who's smart about when they start, like, comedy or entertainment in that age are the guys who are like, I'm the how to be a dad. I saw a YouTube channel. How to be a dad. I'm the dad. Like, you gotta kind of be age specific. You got to be like, I'm the fucking dad. You know what I mean? Because if you're just trying to start comedy and you're just like getting up on stage doing stand-up, or you're trying to start like guitar, I mean, there's guys that have 15, 20-year head starts.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I know guys that started comedy at 35. I started comedy at 19. So when I'm 35, I'm gonna. What's up?
Are the 35-year-olds good?
No, I mean, some of them are all right, but like they don't. It takes a while. So by the time you're 40, you're 5 years into comedy. By the time I'm 40, I'm gonna be 21 years into comedy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm gonna be 21 years into doing stand-up comedy. So it's just like, how are you gonna? You know?
It's sad. It's
right?
like buying crypto. You got to do it early.
Yeah, you got to get early. That's why I'm not making money on crypto. I tried to get into it at 26, and boy, was that a fucking mistake. You know? That's what it is. I maybe I'm hypocritical because I am with crypto, I'm the 32-year-old trying to make the NBA.
Right.
It's like, buddy, it's not happening.
Yeah.
You know? I do think that's a thing of those guys do is they act like, you know, talent's bullshit. Talent's fucking horse shit. Hard work is everything. And it's like, it's not.
It's not.
It's just
At
not.
all. Yeah.
It's just, there's things that you can't, you know.
It's just a blatantly wrong statement.
It's just incorrect. It's just not, I can't just work hard. If I wanted to do what you do, I can't just work hard for years and be great at it necessarily. If I don't have the vision, like if I don't have the vision that like Stanley Kubrick or like Damien Chazelle or some like, you know, savant director has. You know what I mean? Lance Oppenheim, who directed Some Kind of Heaven. We did the Villages episode about it. Lance is my fucking boy, and Lance is a genius. Lance is 24, right? I would just think that I probably don't have Lance's talent. Like the guy has vision that I don't have. Like, you know what I mean? That like I don't know, man. I just don't think that I have that vision. I don't think that I have that talent. I don't think that's my calling. Like, I'm good at being a comedian. That's why I do comedy. Like, the idea that I could just work my ass off at videography from right now, having never done videography, and get to where Lance already is. Like, I probably would never get to where he already is.
Maybe in like 20 years.
Maybe 20 years. Yeah. The kid's 24. He was a standout at Harvard Film School. Like, there are just people out there that are better than you at things. There are just... LeBron James was, like, scouted to be a basketball player since the kid was 12 years old. People are following these people, you know, but in a way that you couldn't even believe. Like, they're prodigies. There have always been prodigies. Mozart was a prodigy. If I try to fucking play piano and work my ass off, I'm not going to be as good as Mozart. It's just, but that if you're Gary V, that doesn't make it, just doesn't pay the bills on your mega mansion. You know, you can't get your 12th Ferrari with the advice that talent is important and you should do the things you're good at. Yeah. You know what I mean? And it's like, obviously you have to fucking work your ass off. But I think that like these motivational speakers have given a lot of people, like, I don't want to say talentless people, but they've just given
false hope.
Yeah, false hope to people who are in the wrong field.
Yeah.
And I feel like you and I probably see that a lot in our fields.
Oh, for sure.
Where it's like, you know, you just watch a guy and you're like, he shouldn't be doing this, man. You don't really like it that much even. And
that puts you in a bad position because all your friends always hit you up like, hey, I got this idea. And they pitch you because you're the creative person in their life, you know what I mean? And then you have to...
Dude, the amount of people that have been like, dude, I got this joke for you. I got this idea. You know what I mean? I have this fucking idea for the show. I got this... Dude, and people will be like, hey, man, they'll say some corny ass shit. They'll be like, don't be afraid to use that in your act. I'm like, hey, man, don't worry. I won't. Like, come on, dude. Hey, man, you know, if you want to, that pun I threw out 2 minutes ago, if you want to say that on stage in front of a crowd of 200 people, go ahead. I'm like, hey, buddy, thanks, but no thanks. Like, I'm sorry, dude, but like, no. It's always like someone that's like one of my parents' friends, like some boomer guy.
Oh, yeah.
And they're always like very sweet and endearing. Like, I don't want to seem like a cunt, but like, they're always just like, hey, man, you want to talk about you want to talk about something on stage? They point to like their buddy or their wife. They're like, you got enough jokes with this one over here. I'm like, that drunk guy in the corner. Yeah, dude. I should do a half hour on him. I should talk about him on the fucking podcast. Like, I'm just like, yeah, man. People be like, dude, I got an idea for the show. How about all the people that came out to us? This is the other thing. He's like, I talked about this on the podcast before. He's like, yo, we just grind. And we're like, I'm an entrepreneur and I'm a writer and I'm a musician.
Oh, people do like 37 different things.
Yeah, the guy who told, remember the one guy in Orlando who's like, I do content. And we were like, what? He just said, I do content. And then we were like, you were like, he goes, I do content with the UCF football team. We were like, oh, really? You're like, my friend is the head videographer for the football team.
Right.
And he's like, yeah. And we were like, do you know him? And the guy goes, I work with the DBs, the defensive backs. And I was like, wait, are you like an assistant football coach? Nah, I just do content. I was like, dude, are you stalking a handful of UCF football players? Is that what we're getting to here? What are you
putting it on the portfolio?
What? Like, what are you talking about? It was great. And he's like, yo, we should link up and we should do content. And I was like, hey, man, I literally have no idea what you're talking about. What are you talking about? How about the amount of people when we were in Miami who were like, yo, I'm a rapper. We got to collab. Like, and they'd be like, yo, I'm a rapper and a DJ. And what we're going to do is like, you're going to do interviews on the ground and I'm going to throw a big party. And I'm going to DJ and rap on stage. And then they point at Chase and they're like, and you're going to take a video of the whole thing. And we're going to make a movie. And I wanted to be like, dude, are you schizophrenic? Do you have, are you manic? Are you a manic person? If anybody needs to be medicated, it's these people. What are you talking about? No. We're going to make an interview, DJ, rapper,
I'm Schmacked video.
I'm Schmacked movie? That showcases your new album?
But don't worry, we're going to make it to the top together. That's what they say.
The ideas are like not even tethered to any reality. Like they're just like, yo, man, oh, you a comedian, bro? Hey, man, my boy's a comedian. Anyways, I do music. I'm an R&B singer. So I figure I could sing and then we'll do interludes in the middle of the song where you tell jokes and you interview people. And then your boy can come and we'll cut it together and it'll be like a short film that we can like shop around to film festivals. And I'm like, hey, man, that idea couldn't be any more bipolar. That idea is literally insanity. No, we're not doing that. I don't even know what that means. How many people have come up to us and said shit like that?
1 million people.
1 million.
Every other person.
Every other person is like, yo, man, I do content. I'm like, you do content.
Mm-hmm. FSU had some comedians, remember?
FSU, I'm a comedian. I'm like, okay. Have you done stand-up? Nah, dude, but I'm like, everybody says I'm fucking hilarious. Mm-hmm. I'm like, okay. Well, I've played pickup basketball before, but I'm not exactly calling myself Russell Westbrook. I hate to break it to you, buddy, but I don't know if this necessarily qualifies you. Yo, dude, we got to do something together. And you're like, yeah, man, sure.
Yeah. It's I think a lot of these people just want purpose. Maybe it's not like talent or anything. They just want like a purpose. Like
I get that
one
man.
Girl that said, she came up to us at FSU and she said, yeah, I want to either be a YouTuber or a TikToker or an Instagram influencer.
I felt bad.
I
didn't feel bad actually for her, but I feel bad for some people. Yeah, she goes, this girl comes up to me and Chase, she goes, in the next year, I've decided I have to either get Instagram famous, YouTube famous, or TikTok famous. And we were like, and then she was like, but I don't know what for. And I wanted to be like, you're a microcosm of the problem that's plaguing America. Like, you are the personification of America's problems as a society. Like, it feels like you don't exist and you came down, God sent you here to teach me a lesson about, like, why I should quit social media and move into the woods. Like, you're like, that is such an alarming statement to be like, I'm going to get famous in the next year, either on Instagram, YouTube, or TikTok. The problem is I have no idea how or what I'm going to put out. And I also have no discernible talent or passions. I wanted to be like, dude, you feel like Satan. Like, you feel like an omen. You know what I mean? I'm like, what do you mean? Well, how would you, like, she said it so, like, it's an issue that so many adults talk about where you're like, everybody in our generation wants to be famous, and the generation below us, everybody wants to be famous, and nobody has any talent. It's all this Kardashian shit. I'm just famous for being famous. Everybody just wants to be a socialite and an influencer and a personality, and nobody has any talent. And you're talking about people, but the people that you're talking about never actually say that. This chick came up to us like the devil herself and was like, I want to get famous on one of these 3 platforms in the next year, except I have no talent and passions. I don't care about anything. I don't know what I'm going to make. What do you think I should do? And I was like, I don't know, fucking hit me in the head with a brick. I think this is when I die.
But I think you told her makeup tutorials.
Yeah, I told her makeup tutorial because that was it, right? Because if you have no talent and you have no drive or passion and you don't know who you are and you want to be famous, I'll tell you what to do. Do makeup tutorials because you got a pretty face and people want to watch you slap different colors on it. That's the only option for you to be famous. And guess what? You'll be fucking richer and more famous than I am. I'll tell you that. That's what I told her. I said, I honestly think you should do makeup tutorials. And she seemed kind of offended. She was like, really? Makeup tutorials? I'm like, what are you going to do? Opinion pieces? You can barely have a conversation with me right now. What do you mean?
I would kind of like to hear those commentary videos, though.
They would be unironically funny comments.
Yeah, exactly.
Dude, if you went to Florida State and you took all the fucking 19-year-old bimbo chicks and you just had them do commentary YouTube videos, how fucking funny would that be? It'd be, I mean, like, honestly, like, what's going on in Syria, it's kind of fucking, like, not lit at all. It's sort of like, it's just like, I don't know. I feel like all these, like, suicide bombers are kind of fuckboys. You know? Like, I just feel like there was just like a mass shooting the other day, and it's like, okay, boomer, like, do you have anything better to do, really, than just like shoot up a school? Seriously? Honestly, get a life and stop talking about me and my friends and stop shooting us with your guns. Okay? It would have 5 million subscribers
within 2 months.
Yeah.
And I'd be one of them.
Honestly, the economy crashed, and it's like, if I can't get this new pair of boots, I'm going to be fucking pissed. Okay, and people are homeless and they can't feed their families. But honestly, Lululemon put out a new line of pants, and if I can't get them because my parents can't pay their bills, I'm going to be pissed off. 10 million subscribers, dude. It'd be people like you and me watching it, ironically.
Yeah, of course.
Like, this is fucking great.
See, like, the people have talent. They just don't know what their talent is.
They have
like,
ironic talent.
Exactly.
You're right. They do have.
If you know how you have ironic talent, you can play that to your advantage.
Yeah, sure. They're all like, do you ever see the video Eli Porter? Where there's a guy freestyle rapping. He's kind of slow.
Okay.
And he's like, I'm Eli Porter, and then he goes,
I did
it. He just says, I did it
okay.
instead of did
I know
it.
this.
And
yeah.
he just goes, I did it. I did it. Eli Porter. And it was like he was just freestyle rapping, and he couldn't really think of any words.
Uh-huh.
And it was like, it was such a viral video. It was like one of those old silly viral videos that went crazy on like E-Bombs World in 2009. But it had like 40 million views, and I'm like, well, this guy is more successful at rapping than most people. It's just not for the reason he wants.
Yeah, exactly.
You know? Also, the funniest thing about that video, the guy he's freestyle rapping against is literally like, this guy walking crooked and he acting stupid and he can't read. And I'm like, this guy is just openly trashing a mentally challenged guy to his face in freestyle raps. And then they just cut the camera back to Eli Porter, and he's like, yeah, I did it. And everyone's like, and then all of us sickos in like 2010 were like, this is fucking hilarious, dude. I'm going to share this with 20 of my friends.
Let's watch it
Blew
again.
it up to 20 million views. He's like more famous than most rappers. God. It's brutal. But look, guys, I'm just here to tell you, talent doesn't matter. It's only hard work. You could do whatever you want. If you're 54 years old and you want to be a professional swimmer, just fucking get after it, dude. Because you can do whatever you put your mind to. There's no such thing as physical limitations. Don't listen to the fact that Giannis Antetokounmpo is 6'11" with a 7'4" wingspan and has been a freak of nature since he was 11 years old. It doesn't matter because you got fucking grind and you got hustle and you believe in yourself. So fucking get after it, dude. And also buy my book. All right? So, guys, this has been the Luke Touma Podcast. Thank you for listening. It's been wonderful doing the pod for you guys. It's been very fun to keep doing it. I appreciate the support, genuinely, because you guys are the best, man, and it makes me fucking happy. Dude, you guys are sending me messages like, I'm your favorite comedian. That's insane to hear, because my favorite comedians, like, inspired me so much. It's wild. I'm glad you like the pod. I'm glad you like, I'm glad you like the show. So subscribe to all our shit for the podcast, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, wherever you listen. Give us a rating, a review if you can. As always, I'm with Chase Azarian.
Of course. Chilling with Chase. The comeback's happening.
At Chase Azarian on Instagram. Chilling with Chase on YouTube. The comeback has commenced. You guys are waiting in the wings for it, and it's happening. We'll see you next week. Peace.